Haaland, we know, Danny, has escaped disciplinary action for that reaction to that moment. When Simon Hooper pulled back on his original advantage played as Grealish was running in and goal against Tottenham. Haaland tweeted after the match, WTF, we know what that means, in response to a video posted of the incident. But now we know he's not going to face any individual disciplinary action because it doesn't breach FA rules. But we know that Haaland, both on and off the pitch, is a powerful, influential figure. The post has been viewed 53 million times and liked more than 500,000 times on the various accounts.
The worldwide audience of Man City.
It's about the tweet.
Yeah, I mean, should Reach come into the FA's playbook here, regards rule breaches?
No, the content of the tweet should. I'm actually not bothered he's not punished for that because it's a statement of it's not a deep criticism of an individual. It's like a statement of a moment of something you see that shocks you. It's like it's not offensive to anyone. No problem with that. I think the bigger issue for me is I'm sure the referee gave his report on what was said to him when players encroach in that kind of intimidating way. But if you're going to punish him, it should be for that, not the
Agreed.
Not the tweet.
I mean,
the tweet's actually taking the focus away from the.
I mean, the tweet is technically what most people would have said when the referee made that decision.
Yeah.
OMG. I don't think it's a great look, but I think it would make the PGMOL and the FA look very small and petty if they go and they start becoming Twitter police about players saying things that they don't particularly concur with. And if the rules don't provide for it, now, surrounding the referee and getting in his face and doing what he did on the pitch.
And they've been charged for that.
That's a different discussion.
Yes.
Oh, they've all been charged, have they, the players?
Well, Man City have become the first Premier League team this season to be charged with surrounding the referee at a certain
there you
moment.
go then.
I mean, you touched on it the other day, Simon. We've come a long way from Keane and Stam and the rest of them all round Andy D'Urso.
I mean, we must remember that. I mean, you and I are very staunch advocates, as are newspapers like the Mail that are running campaigns specifically to support referees in the abuse campaign or the anti-abuse campaign. But we do have to remember that the days, like we do enough, so many things when we're talking about racism, when we compare it to today to what happened years ago, we must remember the progress that we've made without wanting to remove it, without saying that we should rest on our laurels. There is a vast departure from what was happening 10, 15 years ago to what's happening now. But it is creeping in a little bit again. There is a little bit more dissent, a little bit more disrespect. We saw it manifest itself in a few opportunities last year that involved managers and players. And it went beyond the line in certain instances. So, from the point of view of the consequence from it and the arguments about sin bins, I was very surprised that Souness was for sin bins, by the way, the other day.
He didn't think that through.
Well, because he didn't agree with you.
No, I just don't think he's thought that through as someone who loves football and the flow of the game and understand. You don't want to see constantly 10 against 11 where you're just going to get.
But you wouldn't, would you? I mean, the object of the sin bin is to avoid ever having to use it. The sin bin is not something you want to use. It's something you want to wave in front of somebody.
Well, if you did your job, but you've got yellow and red cards. If the referees do their job properly with the yellows and reds, we won't need sin bins.
Yeah. Simon, having said all that, is there inconsistency here? There's David, who's made a great point there. So Haaland doesn't get anything, yet Arteta, who celebrated a winner, gets a one-game ban. Utter nonsense, shows that no one likes Arsenal. David, that's not true. But the first part's an interesting one too.
I don't know the ruling. Maybe you can help. What he got a yellow for celebrating the goal, but he must have
three yellows.
But he must have.
That's why he's got banned.
No, but he must have broken a certain rule. It's not just celebrating, is it? It's maybe crossing a line. Did he go somewhere when he celebrated?
It was out his technical area.
Well, there's your reason.
Yeah.
So that kind of negates that debate, doesn't it?
Yeah. Does show you though, Simon, the power of social media.
Oh, and massive! It elected a president. It elected a president.
Do you know what I think? I think we should get to be a huge sea change and something that would take some practice and a little bit of patience. But I'm all for getting to a point in football where the ref only speaks to the captains.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that solves nearly everything.
I think they're trying to fast track that, Danny. Yeah.
Sold.
Because I remember when the Respect campaign first came in, the referees did speak to us when I was captain at Fulham. They used to speak to us a lot about the other players' behaviour and say, look, have a word with him, he's doing the blah, 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 blah. And it started a really nice rapport.
Who's the captain of Brighton?
Lewis Dunk.
Yeah, there's the exception of that particular rule.
But he'd learn, wouldn't it?
I'm being facetious about that particular circumstance, but I think it's absolutely right. This isn't a democracy.
You give everyone a pre-season to work on it.
Yes.
And if you go up to the ref and talk to him and you're not the captain, you get a yellow. And if you do it twice, you're off. And I'm telling you, players will stop doing it.
Of course they will.
What would happen, in all honesty, that incident at the weekend when Hooper did what he did and Haaland lost it and they were all round him, do you think Kyle Walker, who was captain on the day, would come round and go, actually, lads, I'll handle this. Everybody back.
It would just
honestly.
Well, okay. If
you've programmed it into the players
it becomes
prior
natural.
to that sort of circumstances, it becomes a manner of operating that you might have more chance of negating that instantaneous eruption that was from a series of City players, but pretty much poster boyed by the extreme that Haaland went to.
Well, you would say as an ex-player, that kills emotion, though, doesn't it? Can't just be the captain.
Because emotion should be in how you play, not how you talk to the ref. I mean, you can still have a go at another player. You can still shout at your teammate. You can still be expletive, just not to the ref.
Yeah.
You can still vent passion and anger and frustration, just not at him.
Sure.
It's a different thing.
Anyway, Haaland escaped punishment.
Good point, Danny.
And a very good point, Danny.
First one
Not the first you've made this morning, incidentally.
Oh, maybe two.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.